Hi, I'm Bob Fernikes, and I'm here at Speech Tech, and I'm speaking with Balaji Narayana, Director of Operations for Openstream. So, Openstream is presenting EVA, Enterprise Virtual Assistant, at the conference. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure, Bob. EVA is all about making the enterprise workforce smarter. And I don't want to use the term smarter in a cliched way, but essentially it's about bringing together the information you want in the way you want to consume it, at the time you want, and so that you don't have to search for it, you don't have to look for it. It's always with you. Information follows you versus you following information. And ideally, what you are essentially asking for is a virtual assistant. And so EVA is the virtual assistant, that interface, if you will, that is providing this information and searching for this on your behalf, presenting it to you in the enterprise context on all your devices, laptops, smartphones, tablets, wearable devices, etc.
So, cross between Google, let's say, and Siri?
That's actually very close. In fact, last month, or it was in May, the Yankee Group came out with a report on Openstreams, on EVA, and essentially likened it to Google Now for the enterprise. So essentially, Google Now, as you know, is a consumer solution that is bringing together your email, your calendar in the consumer space,
right.
And it's also bringing together your preferences in terms of information you want to access and giving it to you at the right time, at the right place, on the right devices, of course. And so this is essentially doing the same thing, but it's actually doing this with enterprise content and in the context of the enterprise. So it's a more complex environment with a different set of problems in the back end that it is addressing.
Right. So now I've got an iPad and I can have access to my enterprise applications, whether it's documents, spreadsheets, other applications, expense approval reports. Or what does EVA add to those type of applications?
Okay, so let's take the case of the iPad, as you mentioned. So you have your applications on the iPad, and then you're carrying it with you. Let's say in this conference, you're logging in and logging out. You're getting notified for your expense reporting. So you're logging into your expense reporting, checking out what that is, then logging out again. And so you have a not unified view, I should say, of all your enterprise content and data. You can't share information from your expense reporting app with your email. You'll have to do some very kludgy cut and paste. And so it's really not conducive in terms of providing you a fluid interface. So much like a virtual assistant would just call you and say, you've got so-and-so, would know you're in a conference, would know you can't be disturbed, would only give you the information you want. So the purpose of your consumption is also known to the virtual assistant. So if you really take a step back, we're talking about a user-centric design. It's not about these enterprise applications, it's about you, the user, and how you want to interact and consume with these consume these enterprise applications. So the EVA interface, EVA solution, is providing that virtual assistant interface so that you, the user, can fluidly work with all your applications.
How do you keep up with all of the innovation, all the different operating systems, all the different devices? How does EVA keep up with all those kind of changes that happen all the time?
Right, so it's interesting that you say that, because there is a huge thrust going on in the industry now with the Internet of Things. And essentially we're talking about connected devices. You have a Google Glass, and your Google Glass needs to work with all your applications. It's making its way into the enterprise. We're looking at different types of contactless point of sale devices, all kinds of gadgets that sort of come together and create a larger experience for the end user using it. And so this compounds the need, actually creates a greater need for a virtual assistant. In a user-centric design, you're not worried about managing all these, managing the context data. You're worried about what you want to do, make your decisions as the enterprise user. And so a virtual assistant synthesizes all this, puts this together in a consumable fashion for you. So you don't really need to know what application you're using. You need to know that your colleague sent you a document that you need to approve, and you need access to that document. Whether you're using Google Glass, whether you're using a smartphone, a tablet, is immaterial to you. And so that's really what we're trying to enable in a scalable fashion with our architecture and with our solution.
You did a soft launch with Eva last year. It's in production right now. Can you give me an idea? Openstream seems to be a very innovative company. Can you give me an idea of what your roadmap is from here?
Sure. So as you said, we did a soft launch last year, and we actually took it to some enterprises, to large enterprises, where we have put it in production. And so we've got adequate feedback now in terms of how the solution should be positioned, scaled, and integrated into these enterprises. So now we're taking the next step of making this cloud-enabled so that we can go to the next tier of customers, the non-Fortune 1,000, if you will, and get the same solution, because the problem is the same. It doesn't matter what size of company we're dealing with, and get that solution over to them. So we're doing that from a service standpoint. Technologically, we are bringing in more intelligence into the product. So as we move forward, hopefully at the next speech tech, we'll be talking about some of the intelligence features that we have put in over the year with respect to natural language understanding, higher order speech recognition, etc., in order to provide a more synthesized and more fluid application user-centric design to the solution.
That's great. I want to thank you for coming to Speech Tech. Companies like yours are why people come here and see the new technology. And this is Balaji Narayana, Director of Operations from Openstream.
Thank you, Bob.